Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a presentation from the LongLife Academy that's all about a wellness company called Sisel International. And their pitch? It's pretty intriguing. They're basically claiming you can build a healthier life and a serious side income all at the same time. So let's see how they make their case.
So the presentation kicks right off with a really powerful question. How would your life change if you had an extra, say, 400 to 1,000 euros coming in every single month? They don't just frame this as some small bonus. They call it a quantum leap toward financial freedom, giving you, and this is their phrase, more air to breathe.
All right, so to really get a handle on their pitch, we're just going to follow their 5-step structure. Pretty simple, really. First, they'll set up the problem. Then, they'll give us their solution. We'll look at the products and the science, then the business model, and finally how you can actually get started.
Okay, first up, why bother with an additional income in the first place? Well, the presentation builds its case by zeroing in on two key pressures that they claim pretty much everyone is facing today. We're talking about major challenges to both our health and our wealth.
So, according to the presentation, we're kind of caught in a perfect storm. On the financial side of things, we're dealing with job insecurity, rising inflation. You know the deal. But at the exact same time, they argue our health is taking a hit, pointing to things like toxins in everyday products and even stress from what they call electrosmog, which is basically just that constant exposure to all our electronic devices.
And this is where they make that health challenge feel really tangible. They basically present two paths for aging. You've got the regular process, which they frame as, a continuous decline. And then there's the optimized process, where science can supposedly help you stay younger and more vital for way longer. And that core idea, the idea that you can actually change how you age, that's the foundation of their entire business.
So, after laying out all those problems, the presentation finally introduces its big solution, Sisel International. It's a US-based company that they position as being both a research lab and a manufacturer of these high-end wellness products.
And the name itself, Sisel, well, it's actually an acronym for the company's core values. We're talking science, innovation, success, energy, and longevity. They've got a portfolio of over 50 products that are all toxin-free, and the focus is really on health, fitness, and especially on the science of cell rejuvenation.
Now, to back up that commitment to science, the presentation features this quote from the founder, Tom Moore Sr. And the source makes a point of highlighting that a lot of these so-called breakthroughs are actually really recent and coming straight out of the US market. The suggestion here is that Sisel's goal is to make all that innovation available to everybody, everywhere.
Okay, so here's the really crucial point. The entire business opportunity hinges on the products themselves. The presentation's whole argument is that the income is only possible because the products are backed by what they describe as compelling breakthrough science.
So, to try and build some credibility, they lean on a few external voices. For example, they highlight this quote from a medical journalist named Bill Sardi, talking about resveratrol. Now, that's the key ingredient in their flagship product, Eternity. And the claim? It's pretty dramatic. They're suggesting that taking it could lead to a longer, healthier life than you'd get from just diet and exercise alone.
And here's how they translate some pretty complex science into a simple, really powerful number. Get this. They claim that a single daily portion of their product, Eternity, has the same amount of active ingredient as 720 glasses of fine red wine. Wow! And with that, they say, comes benefits like cell protection, DNA repair, all supposedly backed up by over 17,000 studies.
And it's not just about that one product either. The portfolio is actually pretty broad. You've got things like TSX, which aims to lengthen telomeres, what they call the fuel gauge of life. Then there's Body Shield for the immune system. They even have an anti-aging coffee and toxin-free home stuff like shampoo. They're really trying to cover every aspect of a wellness lifestyle.
So we've talked about the products and the science. But how do you actually earn money with this? This is where the presentation shifts to the business model. And it's not about traditional selling. Instead, the whole idea is based on you using the products yourself and then just recommending the ones you genuinely believe in.
This table is meant to illustrate the potential here. The idea is pretty simple. You find 5 partners who also believe in the products. Then they go out and find 5 more, and so on down the line. And based on a really simple monthly turnover, we're talking just 2 bottles of Eternity per person. This example shows that by the 3rd level, your monthly earnings could already be over 1,000 euros. It's a classic example of exponential growth, but they are careful to say, hey, this is an example, not a guarantee.
And on top of the standard commissions, the presentation also highlights some other perks that are designed to, motivate partners.
One of the big ones is a monthly luxury car bonus. It can go up to $1,500 a month, and it's paid directly to you, so you can use it however you want.
All right, so let's say you're interested. How do you actually get started? The final part of the presentation lays out a really clear 3-step plan to launch what they call your very own healthy lifestyle business. And it's designed to be super straightforward. Step 1, you register as a partner through whoever referred you. Step 2, and they really stress this part is crucial, you place your first order for yourself. The whole model is built on recommendation, so their argument is you can't genuinely recommend something you haven't tried and don't believe in. Makes sense. Then step 3, as soon as you're registered, your international web shop is immediately active, and you get access to all the training materials from the LongLife Academy. So when you boil it all down, the LongLife Academy's presentation for Sisel International is really weaving together two of the most powerful human desires, right? The search for better health and the need for financial security. It packages all these scientific claims about cell rejuvenation and toxin-free living right alongside a clear, performance-based business model. And it leaves potential partners with this one big question to think about. Could a better life, both in terms of your health and your wealth, really start with what's inside the bottle?